My name is Nick Fontana, and this is the Corner Faster circuit preview at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. It's been a little while since I've been on the track, so we're going to take a look at the Google Maps satellite imagery as well as a lap record from Darius Trinka in a 911 Cup car to try to get familiar with Thompson. So taking a look at my old track notes, I'm going to go through one tip for each corner, and we'll look at that in both the map and the video. Starting with turn 1, the first tip is to use the change in elevation of the brake zone to turn the car and carry as much momentum into the corner as possible. The brake zone in a turn 1 is slightly uphill, but then it levels off and essentially flattens out right at turn in. That's going to cause the car to get a little bit light, and using that to rotate the car can help carry quite a bit of momentum. Carrying that through turn 2, getting all the way into the apex, and lining up for turn 3 is the next tip. So through turn 2, you may need to feather the throttle, but prioritizing lining up to the right side of the track for turn 3 is the tip through turn 1. The tip through turn 2. So let's take a look at that in Darius's video. Coming into turn 1, you can see the brake zone, braking the left-hand side of the track slightly uphill, and then flattening out at the 1. You can see the car rotating nicely into the corner. On the throttle, now feeding back out of the throttle and back into the throttle to line up all the way on the right for turn 3. So let's move up to turn 3. I think the biggest tip for turn 3 is to be early. Early on the brakes, early off the brakes, turning in early, and getting all the way into the apex curb and even onto the apex curb. The track falls away a little bit on the outside, and it's also decreasing radius, both of which reasons to get in and stay in early with the path through turn 3. So let's take a look at Darius's path coming out of turn 2, turning in before the end of the turn-in curve and getting all the way to the apex curve, demonstrating the arc through turn 3. Let's move up to turn 4, the slowest corner on the track. After turning in, want to be patient getting back on the throttle. The second half of this corner falls away, so it prevents really any aggressive application of the throttle to be successful. So feeding in the throttle slowly in the second half of the corner, being patient to get back on the gas is the tip for turn 4. Let's take a look at that in Darius's video. Just now feeding in the throttle on the way to the exit. Through turn 5 and turn 6, there's some debate about the arc on the way through the corner. Tip into turn 5, I would say, is to just miss the inside white line on the way in, but then to track out just to the outside of the center of the track. Not all the way to the outside where there can be some debris, but definitely no further inside than the middle in order to line up a good exit. So just miss the white line on the way in and get to just on the outside of mid-track in between turns 5 and 6. And then the tip for turn 6 is to be careful getting back on the throttle from apex to exit as the track falls away and is off camber. It can cause the car to over-rotate and then snap back into the pit wall on the left. So let's watch Darius through the bridge turns 5 and 6. So coming out of turn 4, lining up on the right, just missing the inside on the way into turn 5, getting up to mid-track a little beyond, and then gently squeezing on the throttle all the way to exit out of turn 6. Now let's jump up to the oval, turns 7 and 8. First tip through turn 7 is to get the car on the lower part of the apron. Staying up on the banking isn't helpful. It's really just too much work, and it adds too much work to get down off of the apron or down off of the banking onto the apron later. It also adds a lot of distance, which is unnecessary. So getting down onto the apron earlier, and then for turn 8, the tip is to apex at this second set of apex curb And whether you're tracking out all the way or just tracking out some of the way, depending on how you have to line up turn 9, either way, nailing this second apex curb is the best tip for turn 8. So let's take a look at the video coming out of turn 6, lining up for turn 7, getting quickly onto the apron, and now working it towards the second set of apex curbs and nailing that nicely before getting back on the throttle. Exiting turn 8, some cars are going to track out closer to the wall. Cars with a lot of power and carrying a lot of momentum aren't going to be able to track out as much in order to make the kind of tight corner at the top of the crest here for turn 9. And that's the tip for turn 9, to line up the entry so that there can be a smooth break into the banked pocket of camber that's right around the apex curb at turn 9. A lot of momentum can be carried in here as long as the path over the crest is smooth. And so watch Darius come over the crest, just missing a bump on the inside, and then smoothly curling the car into that turn 9 apex curb. Looking at turn 9 and into turn 10, the key to turn 10 is actually at the exit of turn 9, which is to let the car totally settle on the left side of the track so that a lot of speed and momentum can be turned in with a stable car through turn 10. There's a little bit of change in camber from the first to second half of the turn, which can upset the car a little bit. So definitely getting it fully settled before turn in is the best tip for turn 10. So we'll watch Darius set up turn 9 on the left, get the car settled here, and then turn in. This is the briefest moment where the wheel is totally straight right before turning into turn 10 and letting everything get settled. And now finally turn 11 onto the main straightaway. This is an increasing radius corner. So getting into the apex early and then tracking out early and carrying that momentum around the outer part of the corner is the trickiest thing, and it's difficult to get over in terms of anxiety and carrying all that momentum into the corner. But carrying a lot of momentum early, letting it track out and hang on is the best tip through turn 12. See Darius, even in the 911, tracking out pretty quickly close to the outside of the track, coming in just to about mid-track and letting it crest over the final hill. So that's it for the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park Circuit Preview. Look forward to seeing you at the track.